Hi there! In this video we're going to take a close look at and discuss the impact symptoms of macular degeneration are. Sound like a good thing to you? Check this out. Do you find yourself asking the question about what are the symptoms for macular degeneration? In this video, we're going to discuss and reveal my personal experiences with macular degeneration and how it impacts our vision. Sound like fun? Hi there, my name is Mike. This is the Legally Blind Geek YouTube channel where we overcome low vision challenges. Or anyway, that's our passion. We try to come up with solutions to low vision problems, whether it's age-related vision loss, or in my case, I'm legally blind due to macular degeneration of the wet variety. If you like what you hear, what you see, consider giving us a thumbs up. Use the comment section down below to ask any questions or make any comments that you might find useful. Or if you just have a question, that would be great as well. So let's talk about some common symptoms for macular degeneration. The first one that most people have experienced is blurry and or fuzzy vision. Now, a lot of us, as we get older, we get up first thing in the morning, your eyes are a little bit blurry, a little bit fuzzy, but it kind of subsides as we get woke up, and the old peepers, they work just fine. For some of us, they don't get crystal clear like they used to. They still have that blurriness or that fuzziness, and it's not always the whole view. It might be this little spot or that little spot or your detailed vision or something like that. That might be an indicator of macular degeneration. Now, there are a couple of different varieties of macular degeneration we need to talk about, and the symptoms are sometimes similar and sometimes a bit different, but they both warrant our keeping an eye out for, watching for. There's the dry variety of macular degeneration, which is generally referred to as AMD, age-related macular degeneration. And then there's the wet variety of macular degeneration that happens generally because of some illness, or in my case anyway, it was due to the histovirus. I was diagnosed with histoplasmosis, and we can talk a little bit more about that here later. So, blurry and fuzzy vision is something not to take lightly, especially if it persists. It doesn't have to be in just one spot. It may float around. That might be a reason to, seek some professional advice. I'm just sharing with you what I know and what I've learned about macular degeneration over the past 20 or so years, having lived with its effects. Okay? That's clear? Okay. The second thing that's generally a common symptom is having difficulty recognizing friends, families' faces, or recognizing objects. You just don't have the detailed vision required to recognize something, maybe even read text. Okay? The third is looking at straight lines that look wavy. If you've got a straight line on a piece of paper, or you've got a column of things, and they look kind of like a snake, or they look wavy, that's an indication that you may have a macular degeneration issue of the wet variety. Again, that's something that you need to seek medical professional help with, but those are indicators. If you're experiencing any of these, you need to set up an appointment with your eye doctor and get them checked out. And time is not on your side, especially with the wet variety. If you've got a wet variety of macular degeneration, you want to get that taken care of really quickly, or you'll end up legally blind like myself. Okay? So that's an important thing to keep in mind. These are all indicators of reasons to go see the eye doctor, and if you can't get into yours, you might say, hey, I think I've got an emergency going on here, and explain it to them and see if they can't get you ahead of the list. That would be very prudent on your part, because we're all about overcoming low vision, and part of that is if we can eliminate it, let's do everything we can to eliminate that with our eye health and so forth. Okay? Another symptom is dark, empty spaces in your field of view. If you start with a dark spot, and it may be a gray spot, it may be, you know, a portion of your vision. This is where you got to move your head around or whatever. You find yourself doing that to be able to see, to try to get focused in on it. That could be an indication that you got a problem with macular degeneration. So when you have problems with your macula, it's going to affect your central detailed vision. Colors won't be as sharp. You'll have the blurry vision, the, you know, fuzzy look. That's because of the problems going on with your macula. And the macula is the very center spot of your retina. And as you move from the center out, if you were to look at your retina, say as a cookie, at the very center of that cookie would be your macula. And as you move from the center out, you're getting away from the macula. That's where all your peripheral vision is. So your peripheral vision's on the outside circumference of the cookie, and as you move your vision into the center, focusing on that center spot of that cookie, that's where your macula vision is. That's where all your rods and cones are stored, so your color perception, and that's where all your detailed vision, also your depth perception, is affected greatly by or having a problem with your macula. Does that make sense? We gotta pay attention to that macula. Those are the symptoms to watch out for macular degeneration. Preventative things that we can do. Diet. Everybody gets sick and tired of hearing people talking about diet, lose weight, and all this kind of stuff, but it does impact your health, and for a variety of different reasons. Anything that affects your blood is going to affect your eyes. If you put it under a microscope, a lot of small blood vessels. Now, sometimes abnormal blood vessels will form or rupture, and when they rupture, they start to leach material, leach fluid that affects the connection between the macula and the optic nerve. Now, as that progresses out, or the spot gets bigger, and you can see how it's kind of like a hose. You get a hose, you poke a hole in a hose, and how it starts out, you know, a small puddle, and the puddle gets larger and larger and larger. That's the same thing that happens with the blood vessels in your macula if they start to leach or leak. And that's going to separate your macula from the photosensitive cells of your optic nerve. And then that's what happened to me anyway. It's going to render that area, that pool, sometimes if they can arrest the bleeding, stop the bleeding, either through for me it was photodynamic laser therapy. That's a lot of fun. Hope you don't have to experience that. But it cauterizes where the blood is leaching from. In so doing, creates scar tissue. In so doing, creates a blind spot. That's why I am legally blind. That's why I have no detailed vision. Started with my right eye. Then, lo and behold, about the time I got used to being left eye dominant, it happened to my left eye like that. I was working on the computer, typing some stuff in, and then all of a sudden, boom, I could not focus on the characters on the screen. I couldn't see them. So I was like, oh, Jesus, now what do I do? A couple hours later, I was in the eye surgeon's office undergoing another PDT, creating scar tissue in my left eye, subsequently making me legally blind. It's not a lot of fun, but there is life with sight loss. Hope you found this information useful. Give us a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, that's fine. I would rather you use this information, share it with somebody else that might benefit from it, and leave us a comment. Let me know what kind of vision loss you may have. Any questions that you might have, I might be able to answer from a personal opinion aspect. Again, I'm not a professional. I've been listening to doctors and nurses and stuff like that for going on 30 years now about eye issues and eye problems. So that doesn't make me anything more than a consumer repeating what I have been told by professionals and sharing with you information that I have experienced. And one other thing I might want to mention to you, and I'll do a video on this too down the road. I may link it up here somewhere or link in the description. And that's about the Amsler eye grid. It's a really handy tool. You can take a magnet, stick it on your refrigerator. You can check it from day to day, and we'll talk more about that in another video. But thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Make sure and give us a thumbs up. Comment if you like. Consider subscribing. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.